I am finishing up a busy and some may say a profitable Friday, May 12, 2023. And the reason why I say that is this order that I'm about to, that I'm en route to picking up is my last one of the day. I come into this order, which is a $15 large order opportunity offer by DoorDash. And I am not anticipating that it's going to go up because many of the large order opportunities that I've seen of late, they've pretty much what I've seen offered is what I've gotten as final payment. And I suppose that is one of the little fucking mind games that DoorDash wants to play when you maintain a single digit acceptance rate. While it's not pushing me out of the large order program, I'm not getting the best of the best large order program opportunities. But I'm fine with that because in this segment of the Gig Geezer, I have shown how I've become less reliant on apps like DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Instacart, Ship It, and the like. As of May 10, 2023, at least throughout the month of May, my reliance on those apps have been about 15%. So that what I mean by that is 85% or more of my money. Actually, it's more like 88%. 88% of the money that I have earned during the month of May, at least through May 10, 2023, has been on non-gig food delivery apps. And that is something that has been by strategy on my part, starting December 16, 2022, when I completed the transaction for my Sprinter/cargo van. Now, I say all that because today is the second time this week that I have earned $400 or more, and after this order, it's going to put me somewhere around $1,630. And I'll give you the final number, but at least based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to be at somewhere between $1,625 and $1,630 for this week after 5 days worked. Okay, I'm okay. I'm fine with those type of numbers. Those are the type of numbers that I've been trying to make. Those are the numbers that I'm actually averaging so far this year in 2023. And the reason why I'm putting together this segment of the Gig Geezer is to show how diversification, strategizing goes a long way in surviving how the gig market the gig economy has unfolded in 2023. Another thing that still holds true is accepting less and earn more. Now, this order that I've accepted is only the third DoorDash order that I accepted this week and will be completing. Last week it was like, and if memory serves me correct, in recent weeks it's been like 3 orders completed and accepted and completed, 5 orders accepted and completed, and then 3 orders and accepted and completed. And then there was 1 week in which there were 8 orders and accepted and completed in recent weeks. Same thing goes for like Grubhub or Uber Eats or Instacart. And the reason being I'm talking about this again is because I'm seeing where everyone and their 200th relative are rushing to get on the apps like DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Instacart, Ship It. And when you've got that type of dilution of market, you're not going to see anything. You're just not going to see anything. It reminds me of Uber and Lyft, particularly like on New Year's Eve night, when that is supposedly one of the biggest nights of the year, but it's evolved into one of the worst nights of the year, at least when I was doing ride sharing. In fact, back in the golden era, between 2014 and 2016, maybe 2017, but between 2014 and 2016, at least in the Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area, that was a big night to be out there. But once word got around about these apps, everyone and their 40th cousin and their 50th relative and their 90th relative and their 200th relative start getting on these apps, And they all start coming out there trying to chase after that hyped up pot of gold that may be out there. Now, I'm not against someone's grind and hustle. I'm really not, because I have the utmost respect for someone who gets out there and try to make things work for whatever reason. I have my reasons for being out here. You have your reasons for being out here. But I'm just having a little conversation with everyone today in this particular segment of the Gig Geezer, because it's not so much as me. It's really not about me it's not about me having this victory lap, because it's really not a big victory lap. I mean, shit can happen to me to where I'm at zero every fucking day for all I know. So all I can say is that when I come out here, I'm out here with an expectation of making money. That is really the bottom line. My expectation is to make money. My expectation is to make a certain dollar amount each day. And one of the things I have done is put myself in a position where I have a lot of options. You have to give yourself a lot of options, because if you don't, if it's like being in a gunfight. If you don't have a lot of bullets to fire, what's next? Hand-to-hand combat? But if you got the right weapons, you can stand a chance of holding your own and maybe advancing and taking out the opposition. All right, the drop-off location for this order is probably at the most 10 minutes from this pickup location. In fact, it's in a plaza in which I come over here often to pick up catering order opportunities. And usually, though, when I come over here, it's typically for a large order opportunity. That's typically when I come over here. Now, one thing I will share, just for whatever it's worth, on the DoorDash app, and this is something that I have learned after being on the app since 2019 and having completed, at least according to the app, over 5,600 deliveries. You need to pay attention to your phone when those DoorDash orders come across your screen. At the top, there's often this blurb that comes across, and it'll tell you the restaurant. If you pay attention to the restaurant, you should by experience know by experience whether that is a place that you may have an order that may be worth your while. It's easy to talk about a dollar amount or a dollar per mile ratio and all that stuff, but one thing that I pay attention to first is the restaurant. The restaurant has to pique my curiosity, because or the store, the merchant in general has to pique my curiosity, or I'm not even going to do it. Because I know places like McDonald's and Bojingo and Burger King, they often are going to, there are other places that are notorious for lower paying order opportunities. So they're already the least of my concerns. But if you pay attention to the restaurant first, when you see the notification comes across your phone screen, that may give you a hint as to if it's something that you need to look into. But moving on, I also want to take an opportunity to acknowledge some folk whom I have met this week, and just a couple other people whom I've been in contact with pretty much on a regular basis, and a couple of names that I've been mentioned. But I just feel that I need to acknowledge people who have acknowledged me in some form or fashion, in that they've seen in fact, when I've met them in person, they have said, "Hey man, you're that guy, you're the guy with the videos," or "You're the Gig Geezer." The first one is a young guy named Trayshawn. I met earlier this week at a Walmart parking lot as I was there to pick up a pickup order. I believe Trayshawn was working Spark. Today, I met a guy named Mr. Butler, Mr. B.O. Butler. And we talked for a good while today. In fact, we're a couple of guys who are pretty far along in decades in life. And Mr. Butler was at a tire distributorship picking up a freight order, and I happen to be working in a shameless plug, my OneRail app, in which I can dispatch myself order opportunities. So I put together a big fucking load of orders to pretty much, the intent was really to close out my day. But I ended up meeting him because he said, "Hey, you're the guy with the video chat." Yeah, I'm that guy. And so we exchanged business cards, and we talked for almost an hour. The next guy, and I've mentioned him as well, I hadn't been in contact with him a little while though, is Rashad. Rashad is a guy whom I met, who first came down from Charlotte, and the last time we talked, it looks like he's going back up to Charlotte. But Rashad has turned things around. He's gotten things back on track in his life, and he got a smaller Sprinter van, and it's made a difference with him in terms of earnings opportunities. The next guy is Steve. Now, Steve is someone I met also in the parking lot of a Walmart. He was coming in, and I saw this guy in this Dodge Sprinter van, and I'm like, that's a guy who's out there making money. And damn if I wasn't right. But Steve, today, actually May 12, 2023, when I last spoke to him this afternoon, he was over $300 for the day, and he said, what I've been doing has been motivation for him to make a transition from what he's been doing. Even though there's more to his situation though, but he's looking to make a transition as well. And he's done $300 working out of his Sprinter/cargo van. Now, there are people who feel that my investment in a Sprinter/cargo van was a waste of money. Well, I'll put it like this. I've earned at least 10% more than this time last year. And I'm already over 32,000 for the year, maybe right at 33,000. In fact, here's the statistics right here. So that means that by this time last year, I was just approaching 30,000, and I'm at about 33,000 already. So that should tell you something. Why it has worked for me is that, and this is something I've shared with people in some replies to comments that they put on my to some of my uploads. Size equals money. Size equals money when you're working gig opportunities. Steve Rideshare Rodeo, another person whom I need to acknowledge. Steve is someone who has who mentioned a very profound nugget in that there are far more apps out there than the gig food delivery apps, and there's a reason for that, because there's a market and need for that. Okay, and so Steve Rideshare Rodeo, if anything, he was, and I mentioned in this particular segment of the Gig Geezer, which is my last upload, he was the person who put me in contact with someone at Curry, who pushed my profile along to the front, because initially I had applied under a different email with my F-150, but when I applied under another email, I applied with my Sprinter van. So the Sprinter van and box trucks have priority over all the other class vehicles. But there's another group of folk that I need to acknowledge as well, who have also had noticed me. In fact, the first person is Always Cherry Pick. Always Cherry Pick is he's a rather he has a very commanding conversation, and that's putting it nicely. He has a very commanding conversation, and he's going to tell you what's on his mind and how he feels. But he was one of my early subscribers. In fact, the Gig Geezer channel, this time last year, may have had 200 subscribers. This time last year, maybe 200 subscribers, and he was among that first 200. And then he's the one who had pointed me in the direction of Mr. Flex's lounge. And so I just want to acknowledge those guys as well. Everyone in the lounge, I may not be giving all the names, and it's not intentionally that I've forgotten you, but the ones that come to mind are Bobby, who's Southern Gig, Miss Red, Rolling with Red, Mr. Flex himself, Cody, Willie, Dino, who comes in there sometimes. It's those guys, kind of caught on and, was encouraging people to subscribe to my channel. So I'm about to drop off this DoorDash order, and I'll resume the conversation. And just as I had anticipated, I was not that confident that this order would pay more than what was offered. It did go up slightly, They offered was $15. The actual final amount was $16.82. And so that put me over $406. I'm just talking right off the top of my head, but that put me over $406 for today. So that I'm okay with that number. And again, that puts me over $1,625 for the week. But I mentioned about Flex in the lounge. Let's see here. I mentioned Flex, Rolling with Red, Necro, Willie, Dino, Bobby. Those are the main folk that come to mind. Cody. Those are the main folk that come to mind over in the Flex Lounge. So I'm kind of giving a rolling of credits of people. So it's not often that in fact, this is the first time that I've really acknowledged a lot of people in one of my segments, but I feel that it's necessary because this channel really has taken off in the last several months, and it's people like you that give me motivation to go out here and do what I do. I don't do it for y'all, but what I'm saying is that folk like Steve, he said, man, I'm trying to get like you. Well, no, I tell him that, hey, it's folk like you that motivate this old guy to keep doing it's folks like you that motivate me to stay on top of my game, whatever that is. I've mentioned about the orders. I've mentioned about running things as a business. I can't say it enough. If you want to see business-like results, you got to treat this as a business. You can't treat this as just something that I'm out here to make some spare change, spare change. Well, if you're out here to make some spare change, you get spare change-like results. Simple as that. If you treat it with a fuck it attitude, you get fucking results. So you get what you put in. Can't get around that. So if there's a breakdown of today, I started out with 3 orders. The first 3 were a stacked order on the OneRail app that paid stack orders that I put together, stack opportunities on the OneRail app that paid $37.50. And then I had a freight order that paid $25, and then I had a roadie that paid $51.83. Then things got interesting, and I had a run of OneRail opportunities, and after that second run of opportunities, in which there were 1, 2, it was like, I want to say that there were 1, 2, there were 4 of them. There were four tire orders that came at one time. They totaled $90. So that put me at 207 by noon. And then between noon and about 3 something this afternoon, 3 something, maybe 4 o'clock. No, it was noon and about 3 something. I made another $160 on tire delivery orders on the OneRail app. So when I left Charlotte, I'm now coming back to Columbia. I'm at $360+ and now I'm thinking, you know what, I feel up to it. I know I'm not going to go out tomorrow, May 13, 2023. Why not go for 400 and call it a day? And when I got into the Columbia area, I happened to catch the first of 2 large order program opportunities. That offer was for $28.24. So that put me $390 in fact. They put me right at about $390. And then this last one now puts me over $406. So I have put myself in a position with a Sprinter/cargo van to handle a varied amount of order opportunities. The roadie, as I mentioned, was flooring. 1,300 pounds of flooring. In fact, this is a picture of it's not the pallet it's not the pallet, but that's what I unloaded. 42 of those 30 plus pound boxes of flooring. Then there were the tires. I had this van from front to back with tires. In fact, I had at one point 7 orders in this van. I did not bother to take a picture because there was a lot of shit going on with the app and me being in contact with OneRail, and so yeah, it was a lot of shit going on. So I had to make sure that these orders are showing as counting for me having completed them so that I can get paid on them. So anyway, I do have pictures. Here's some of the pictures of the tires that I picked up, because people like to talk about, well, I need to see receipts and all, because anybody can do anything. Yeah, you can Photoshop that. Blah, 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 blah. So these are some of the fucking receipts. All right. Now, I showed a picture of the last order, the DoorDash order, from when I put it in the bag. That's the one I paid $16.82. The other one, I did not take a picture of it. But all I'm getting at is diversify, strategize. You can't get around that. You cannot get around that. Now, some people are going to say it's market. Well, guess what? I didn't work primarily Columbia today. And the reason being is Columbia is a place where at this time of the year, people don't come here to vacation. They're trying to get the hell out of here. They're trying to get the fuck out of here, man. And so when schools let out, the primary and secondary schools let out in another couple of weeks, this market is going to be fucking deluged with thirst. And so I'm going to have to figure out how to stay ahead of the thirst, because there are going to be people that are going to try to get on various apps that I'm on, trying to steal opportunities from people like me, in which apps that give, because of my vehicle classification, priority. But I guess I have to deal with that when I deal with that. But I'm telling you, it's days like this that kind of keeps you sober too. I can't get around the fact that, this time 4 years ago, 2019, I thought it was a big fucking deal if I made $4,000 in a month. I thought it was a big fucking deal. In fact, for 2018, 2019, $4,000 a month was a very good month for me. And so, I've since consistently made at least $6,000 since the beginning of 2021, but now I'm over $7,000 a month, pushing $8,000 a month. So, I mean, that's not getting rich type money, but it's certainly, I'm certainly making progress, even at this stage in life, and that's something. Some people have asked me, well, they've shared with me that they're retired, or they're retired, or they've got certain things going on. Can they do this type of stuff? Do what you're capable of doing and no more. I feel, fortunately, I'm still capable of doing some of the things that I'm doing shit that people half my age may not even be doing, okay? There may come a point where I won't be able to, and so I'm gonna have to make those adjustments. But I'm also working to put myself in a position where maybe I can delegate some of those opportunities to somebody else, or be in a position to put others in the same position as I've been in, and just get a percentage of what they make. And that's a challenge in itself, because there are people who don't want to listen. There are people who think they know it all. There are people who feel that you're out to sham them and steal from them. And so, that's a headache that I'm going to have to deal with at some point. But for now, it's a managed headache, and maybe that's the thing when it comes to running a business. Try to manage what you've got. Don't try to expand too fast, because that's when you have even more headaches. Try to keep it manageable, and that's what I'm trying to do. And so as I'm trying to build a team of folk on my app, under my vendor account, Hopefully, you know, I will have people who are wanting and willing to make money as I dispatch opportunities to them, because I'm out here trying to do it as well. And so I guess that's another conversation in itself. But hopefully you get something out of this segment of the Gig Geezer. Thank you to those of you who have been followers of this channel, because it means something, because the intent has always been to inform and educate people, and maybe inspire and motivate as well, not so much as entertaining people. I hear that from people. People are telling me that. I see it in the result. I see it in the comments. Hopefully you can tell too that, hey, I'm out here to try to make it as well. It's just that I'm sharing my experience in the process. And with that, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer or in any other segment of the Gig Geezer, hit that subscribe button. Give my content a thumbs up. Share my content among others. And I definitely welcome comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.